Welcome. If you're watching this, you already sense something is wrong. You feel it in your grocery bill, your rent, the weight of every paycheck that somehow buys less than it did last year. You're not imagining it. What you're feeling is the final tremor before the earthquake, the last heartbeat before the flatline.
Oh, someone brought his serious voice today.
It's a heavy century. I'm just trying to lift it. Back to what I was saying. This isn't conspiracy theory. This is pattern recognition across 1,800 years of monetary history. And what I'm about to show you is the convergence of cycles so precise, so mathematically inevitable, that once you see it, you can't unsee it. Welcome to Astral Bard.
And Zola.
And over the next 5 videos, we're going to do something no one else is doing. We're going to fuse historical data, astrological cycles that have predicted every major economic collapse in history, numerology that's been hiding in plain sight, and the research of the world's top economic minds to show you not just what's coming, but when it's coming, why it's unstoppable, and most importantly, how you protect yourself before the door slams shut. This is video 1. The Pulse. We're going back 1,800 years to show you that what's about to happen in 2026 has already happened before, and the people who engineered this system knew exactly what they were doing. They've been running the same playbook since the Roman Empire, and you've been paying for it your entire life without knowing it. Let's start with the most dangerous lie you've ever been told. The lie that the money in your pocket is actually money. Here's a test. Pull out a dollar bill right now. Look at the top. What does it say? It doesn't say United States dollar. It says Federal Reserve Note. That word, note, that's not an accident. That's a legal term. A note is a debt instrument. It's an IOU. It's a promise to pay, not payment itself. Every single dollar you've ever earned, every dollar sitting in your bank account right now, is not money. It's a lien. It's a claim against your future labor. You don't hold wealth. You hold a promise that you'll work tomorrow to make that piece of paper worth something today. But it wasn't always like this. Let me take you back to 1792. The Coinage Act of 1792 defined the dollar as exactly 371.25 grains of pure silver. Not a promise, not a note. Actual metal you could hold, weigh, and trade anywhere on Earth. If you had a silver dollar, you had sovereignty. You owned something real that no government could print more of, no bank could dilute, no politician could steal with a pen stroke. That was the original deal. That was the contract. Now, fast forward to 1910. A small group of men, 6 to be exact,
7, darling. There were 7.
7, took a private train to a place called Jekyll Island off the coast of Georgia. These weren't elected officials.
Oh, darling. Senator Aldrich wasn't just there. He was the man holding the gavel. A sitting senator drafting laws in secret is the whole point.
They were bankers representing roughly 25% of the total wealth on the entire planet. Paul Warburg from the Rothschild banking empire in Europe. Representatives from J.P. Morgan, the Rockefeller family. They met in secret, and over the course of 9 days, they drafted a plan. That plan became the Federal Reserve Act, and it was signed into law on December 23, 1913, late at night when most of Congress had already gone home for Christmas. Here's what they did. They took the power to create money away from the U.S. Treasury, which was accountable to the people, and they gave it to a private banking cartel. And instead of dollars backed by silver, They created Federal Reserve notes backed by nothing but debt. Your labor became the collateral. Every time the Federal Reserve prints a new note, it's not creating wealth. It's creating a claim on your future work, your children's future work, your grandchildren's future work. They turned the entire country into a debtor class, and they did it in one night while you were sleeping.
Piotr was the key to this coup. As Assistant Secretary of the Treasury, he was the only one who could give that private cabal a veneer of legality. He went rogue to ensure the monstrosity looked like a masterpiece of the state. He was the makeup artist for the monster, darling.
Now, I know what you're thinking. That was over 100 years ago. Why does it matter now? Because we're about to hit the end of the cycle, and the math is catching up. But before we get there, I need you to understand that this playbook is not new. It's ancient. And the last time it was run to completion, it destroyed the greatest empire the world had ever seen. Let me take you back to Rome, 235 AD. There's a new emperor named Maximinus Thrax. He's a soldier, not a politician, and he's got a problem. His legions need to be paid, but the Roman treasury is empty. So he does what every desperate government does when it runs out of money. He steals. He sends soldiers into the cities to confiscate gold and silver from temples, from municipal treasuries, from wealthy families. But that's not enough. To keep his armies loyal, he doubles the military's pay, and to fund that expansion, he starts debasing the currency. Roman silver coins, called denarii, used to be 90% pure silver. Under Maximinus, the silver content starts dropping, first to 50%, then 30%, then 20%. By the time you get to Emperor Gallienus in 260 AD, just 25 years later, the coins are only 2% silver. They're basically painted bronze. And the people notice. Merchants stop accepting them. Soldiers refuse to fight for worthless coins. The economy collapses. Rome enters what historians call the crisis of the 3rd century, 50 years of civil war, plague, and total chaos. Now here's the pattern. When a government runs out of real money, it doesn't admit it's broke. It changes the definition of money. Maximinus doubled the military payout while destroying the coin. The Federal Reserve replaced silver with paper promises while expanding the debt. Same scam, different century. We are now exactly 1,800 years into this same great pulse. History isn't repeating, it's rhyming with a megaphone. Let me show you the moment it became irreversible in our era. 1934. President Franklin D. Roosevelt signs Executive Order 6102. It makes it illegal for American citizens to own gold. The government forces you to sell your gold at $20.67 per ounce. Then, the very next year, Roosevelt signs the Gold Reserve Act, and the government revalues that same gold to $35 per ounce. Overnight, the U.S. Treasury books a $2.8 billion accounting profit.
That's $65.1 billion in today's money.
I know, right? But where did that money come from? It came from you. It was stolen purchasing power. Your savings were incinerated to plug a hole in the government's balance sheet. But they didn't stop there.
And why would they?
In 1936, the Treasury does something called gold sterilization. They take all that seized gold and bury it in vaults, in what they call dead storage. They hid that gold using a specific mechanism called the Exchange Stabilization Fund, or the ESF. This was the original sin of modern finance, a secret pot of money created from your stolen gold that exists outside of congressional oversight. They used the ESF to manipulate markets and mask the inflation they were creating by printing more money. This accounting fraud is still running today. We are now exactly 90 years past 1934, and that same gold, that same dead storage trick is still on the books. Look at the math. 1934 plus 92 years, which is exactly 4 23-year cycles of major American policy shifts, brings us to 2026. The confidence cliff is here. Here's where the astrology comes in, and I need you to stay with me because this is where it gets mathematically eerie. Every 248 years, Pluto completes one full orbit around the Sun. In astrology, Pluto represents death, rebirth, and the exposure of hidden power structures. In 2024, Pluto entered the sign of Aquarius at 0 degrees. The last time Pluto was at this exact position was 1778, right in the middle of the American Revolution, when we were tearing down one monetary system to build another. But Pluto carries a specific frequency, Apollyon, the exterminator, the destroyer. It comes to clear the land so something new can be built. In 1778, it exterminated the British monarchy's hold on us. In 2026, it is coming for the central banking monopoly. This isn't just a financial shift, it is a sovereign reclamation. Pluto in Aquarius forces transparency through technology and decentralization, dragging the 1936 ESF secrets into the light because the technology now exists to audit the fraud in real time. This lines up perfectly with a hypothesis developed by historians William Strauss and Neil Howe, known as the fourth turning. They discovered that history doesn't move in a straight line, but in cycles of seculums, roughly 80 to 90-year periods that repeat like seasons. Each seculum contains 4 turnings: the high, the awakening, the unraveling, and finally, the fourth turning, the crisis. This is the stage where institutional trust collapses, the old social order is dismantled, and a total system reset occurs.
Oh, I just love it when he talks that way.
The last fourth turning climax was the 1940s, a period of total war that birthed the Bretton Woods system and made the dollar the world reserve currency. We are at that 80 to 90-year mark right now. The old order is dying. A new one is being born. The 1,800-year heist is ending. The cycle is closing. The hammer is falling. This isn't happening in some distant future. The timeline is already locked. In video 2, I'm going to show you the exact mechanism they're using to drain what's left of the system. It's called the Spanish curse.
No, not curse words in Spanish, darling.
Right. Key distinction there. The same thing that collapsed the most powerful empire of the 16th century, using silver and wage suppression to bankrupt its own people. Then in video 3, we're going to talk about velocity, the 103-year echo from Weimar Germany, and why the collapse in 2026 won't take years. It's going to happen in weeks because of Uranus in Gemini and the speed of digital currency. Video 4 is where we dissect the bond market trap, the clipping mechanism that Russia's finance minister just warned the world about, and why Saturn in Aries means the rehypothecation scam is about to die. And video 5 is the capstone, where all 4 hammers converge in 2026, and I'll show you the only exit that survives what's coming. But right now, I need you to sit with this. Everything you thought was money is actually debt. The system was designed to transfer wealth from you to a private banking cartel, and it's been running for over 100 years. The cycle is ending, the math is catching up, and the window to protect yourself is closing faster than you think. Thanks for joining us. I am the Astral Bard. Zola and I will see you in the next video.
be a doll. Hit like, say something clever, and subscribe. And if you got the taste and coin, the description box is waiting.